Hey guys, I'm Fish here. It's the games that are playing Fortnite Battle Royale. Today in my Fortnite Battle Royale video, we're going to be looking at the Season 8 potential storyline and what's going to be happening towards the end of Season 7. So if you guys are excited, make sure to smash your like down below, subscribe if you're new. So let's get into this. So at Polar Peak, if we go into the main castle and we go all the way down to the bottom of the castle, we're going to be able to see something crazy, guys. And right here at the bottom of the castle is someone stuck in a piece of ice and chained to the ceiling. Now, I'm going to be explaining in this video who I think this is, and this theory has a lot of potential to become true. Now you can see a hand poking out. It looks kind of like a rock, and it's obviously tied to a massive chain that's stuck to the ceiling. So yeah, we're going to be finding out who is in here today and why they have been trapped in this ice and why the ice has been melting. So I'm going to be covering that all in today's video. So if you guys are excited, please drop a like down below and tell me if you're hyped for Season 8. So if we head up above the cool little like hand poking out of this big ice cube, we can actually see a table with 5 chairs around it. Now it has kind of like some flags around the edge of this room. It has a nice little I was about to say campfire, but it's kind of just a wood fire really. But that's not what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to be talking about these 5 chairs and why one of them is knocked over and what the symbols are. So you can see one chair is knocked over here, and it has a symbol on it which links to the table. So on the table there are symbols, and they link to the chairs. As you can see on that chair, it has the same symbol as the one on the table, and they're all kind of like positioned and lined up with like the same symbol on the table. And you can see one of them is knocked over. I'm just going over to show you guys that they're all the same to prove that, you know, I am right here. So this symbol here is actually a fire symbol. Now, what I mean by this is like there's lots of different symbols like water, ice and stuff like that. This is a specific symbol which dedicates to fire. And as you can see on this chair, ignore like the ice crystal stuff. We're in Polar Peak. It's on a massive ice cube. There's going to be ice. So you can see this big table looks like there's been some discussion because all the chairs, they haven't like been put neatly. They've also like been rushed off. Now the theory is that there have been 5 different types of kings. There's like the Ice King, the Fire King and stuff like that. And the Fire King didn't agree with this big discussion. Now, we're not too sure what the discussion is, but some people are guessing that it's obviously to make the whole map go kind of icy, or it's just some sort of like big discussion that the Fire King didn't agree on. Now, we're going to get on to who is in the big like ice sculpture and tied up inside Polar Peak in a minute. But obviously, as you guys know, the Ice King, which is the tier 100 skin, froze the entire map and made the whole map snowy. Now obviously this can't stay like this forever because, you know, when Season 8 comes, it's basically going to be the end of winter. It'll be near the end of February, and apparently Season 8 has been delayed by about a week or 2, so that means we're going to be getting even more intense kind of storylines in Season 7 at the moment. So if we go back to the little table, like I was saying, I think some people think that they were discussing to make the whole map icy, but obviously the Fire King didn't agree on this. It might not be this discussion, by the way, I'm just saying, you know, that is an example of what the discussion could have been. So the Fire King knocked over his chair and basically just stormed out of there, and he didn't want any of this to happen. And obviously down here, this is the interesting part, the Fire King is meant to be locked up here by the Ice King. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but this guy's like a rock, you know. But if you've been stuck in ice, your skin's probably going to turn quite weird. The theory goes that the Fire King didn't agree with the Ice King's opinions. And what happened was the Ice King trapped the Fire King in this massive, like, you know, peak. And then basically just trapped him there, realistically. We're going to talk about him later, but first we're going to move on to the dragon eggs. Now, as you can see inside them, they're kind of like snakes. They're not snakes, don't worry. Well, hopefully they're not. But as you can see at the bottom of the eggs, there are these sort of like ice hexagons, if I have got the math right there. Yep, they're hexagons, I think. So as you can see, obviously when you go inside them, there's like nothing. There's nothing here. You can't actually, get any information just by going inside them. But basically, these little ice hexagons at the bottom are stopping them from hatching. You can see they're kind of turning frosty, and they're almost about to hatch, but obviously the ice things are stopping them from hatching. Now, inside here is meant to be the Fire King, and obviously the Ice King basically froze this guy in this massive ice, which kind of went up to this back wall, and slowly we could start seeing these little chains, and then because the ice was melting, and in one of the loading screens the Ice King said something along the lines why am I awake? The ice isn't meant to fall. And fall, THW AW means melt, basically. It means the same as melt. And the Ice King didn't expect anything to start melting, because obviously he trapped the Fire King down below inside ice, and this is actually where he said it. That loading screen was set, as you can see on screen here, and it kind of looks like the Ice King's what do you even call it? Ice King's throne, because it's got ice crystals and just big ice stuff around it. And you remember up here about a week ago there was a live event where this big ball exploded and the Ice King was inside it? That's what made the whole map snowy. As you can see on screen here, on this table is the big ball that the Ice King was inside. So obviously someone has been planning this. Some people are saying it's wizards, but it's probably just the Ice King planning his sort of I would say not adventures, but planning to freeze the entire Fortnite Battle Royale map. And up here it's basically just the same table copied. So this is kind of a big clue of what was going to happen when Polar Peak was first added into the game, which was obviously season 7. And if we go back down to the Fire King, we can see his hand at the moment tied to a chain. We're probably going to be seeing more of his body tomorrow and the following days throughout this week. And it is Sunday, actually, so it's the end of the week. So on Tuesday we're going to be seeing probably a major update to do with the cool Fire King, or should I say warm Fire King, that is inside here. Obviously this theory may not be right, but it may be. So as you can see, the Fire King is trapped in here, and it's trying to get out. It's melting the ice, and it's trying to do whatever it can to get out of this massive iceberg. And obviously we're going to talk about the eggs a bit more, because the eggs time with the storyline a lot, really a lot, guys. So as you can see, there are 5 eggs, and over here on the map, if I can actually get out here we go. Over here on the map by Viking Village, there is a massive footprint. Now in season 4 I thought this was dinosaur. Lots of people did, and then the meteor landed. People thought it was going to be a dinosaur inside the meteor. But it's actually not a dinosaur footprint. The theory goes as a massive dragon, a fire-breathing dragon to be specific, stepped along here, and it landed on the map, and it made a big footprint, and it didn't really want to step anywhere else because it crushed through a building and probably hurt its foot. So then it started flying away, and that's why we can't see any other footprints anywhere around here. And so it flew in from up here maybe, and then it landed down here on this house, and it didn't put its other foot down, or its other feet down. We don't know how many feet it has. So yeah, it hurt its foot quite badly. So then it didn't put its foot down anywhere else. So it flew away, and in season 6, like I mentioned a minute ago, the iceberg was all the way down here at south, which is obviously Polar Peak. And that's what made the whole bottom left of the map snowy in season 7. The iceberg was all the way down there, and potentially what happened was the big fire-breathing dragon went over to Polar Peak, as we now know it, and it laid some eggs, and obviously those eggs back there are its little babies. And obviously we haven't seen this dragon since. We haven't even seen it at all. This is just part of the big theory that I'm telling you guys about. So yeah, these eggs are the dragon's babies, and obviously the Ice King didn't want them to hatch, and it probably saw what the fire-breathing dragon was like, and it didn't want them to hatch because obviously fire versus ice, the fire's probably going to end up winning, as it is so far, obviously, because the ice is melting against the Fire King. So it put these little hexagons and crystals on the bottom of the egg so they couldn't hatch. And obviously, as the theory goes, the Fire King is trying to melt his way out of Polar Peak, set these big dragons and dragon eggs free, so then they can go and breathe fire across the entire Fortnite Battle Royale map. That is the theory, and obviously you can see the Fire King right on screen here. It's going to try and take these hexagons off, melt them potentially, and because it's a Fire King, it'll probably have special powers like the Ice King does. And yeah, it's going to set these fire-breathing dragons free once they've hatched from their eggs, and it's going to melt all of the snow on the Fortnite Battle Royale map. And you're probably thinking right now, but Zombiefish, if the entire map is going to melt, ice and snow will turn into water. And then we come on to Season 8's theme. Season 8's theme, if this theory is true, which it's looking out to be, because someone is trapped in this big iceberg. Well, now it's a small iceberg. And obviously, there's going to be a massive water flood theme in Season 8. And obviously, the main parts that are going to get hit and, flooded are probably going to be Tilted Towers, because it's quite low down, as you can see. It kind of, dips down a little bit. And obviously the valleys around the map, but that's kind of obvious. It kind of dips down, especially if I can get to there, yeah, down here on the right, that'll get flooded. And probably Shifty Shafts as well, and probably a few other points on the map, like Dusty Divot as well. There's not much ice in Dusty Divot though, that's the thing. And I can't get out of this map. This is actually irritating. There you go.
Oh, well done.
So yeah, that is the big theory. And obviously, as you know, down here, Greasy Grove is just killing it here. No pun intended. It's just chilling here, and it's been frozen. Greasy was loved by many people. Me and Bill and Ton always used to land there. Well, most of the time anyway. And obviously, if the fire-breathing dragons are going to melt everything, Greasy is going to be one of the first places, because it's closest to Polar Peak, to melt. And I'm so excited for Greasy to come back. It's probably going to come back because this theory is apparently 75.9% true. I know, very specific. It's that much true because the ice has got to melt some way, because the ice and the snow can't stay there forever, because winter is going to be over by the time Season 8 comes. So this ice has got to go some way, and I think this theory is pretty accurate, guys. What do you think? If you think this theory is going to come true, then in the top right now, click the little icon. It's like an eye icon. And make sure to tell me what you think there. And down over here by Frosty Flights, there is a submarine on top of this big iceberg. Now, as I said before, Season 8's theme potentially is probably just going to be like a big flooded theme. And you're going to be so excited for this. This submarine could be a new vehicle in Season 8, guys. So inside the submarine, you literally can't see anything. I'll go in there in a second to show you. But obviously, it's probably going to fall down here when all the ice gets melted, and it's gonna basically just zoom around the map. And yeah, you could use it. So I reckon this vehicle, as you can see inside here, there's nothing here. I reckon this vehicle is going to be like one of them vehicles where you can only get it one per game. And we haven't got any vehicles that are like that at the moment. Like the planes, you get them spawn in, as well as all the other vehicles. I'm not going to go through them because there's like 3 others. So the view you'd probably get from like a third person view, if you did use this, it'd probably be like this view here. And it's quite a good view, I'd say. And then when you turn, it will kind of go like skirt to the left and skirt to the right. Sorry, I just wanted to do that. So this submarine could be a potential vehicle in Season 8. So if you guys are excited for this potential vehicle to be here, then smash a like down below. And obviously over at Loot Lake, as you can see on the screen here, there are some boats, and those could be used as well. Now these zip wires over here, they're probably gonna get destroyed in Season 8. Some of them might still be standing, but if there's gonna be a massive flood and 5 massive fire-breathing dragons across the map, then they're probably just going to get burned. Like, zip wires aren't that strong. They can carry a Fortnite human being. Well, Fortnite beings aren't exactly human. So yeah, the zip wires are probably going to get melted. So yeah, guys, if you think this theory is possible, like I said, click in the top right now. There'll be a little icon. Well, there was a minute ago. You can still click it now. If you click on the video, click on the little icon. Tell me whether you think this theory is possible. I think it is. Tell me if you think no, that's probably not going to happen, and tell me if you think yeah, this is for sure going to happen. So yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this video, smash like down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I shall see you later.